In this video, we would learn about how to access GitHub Server from Git client using SSH protocol. We can access the GitHub Server repositories using SSH and HTTPS. In this video, we will discuss about how we can use SSH protocol to access the repositories of GitHub Server. Let us start. So for this demo, I have logged into the GitHub Server with my user ID DevOpsCDT. So here I will create a test repository. So for that I need to click on this. I am creating a new repository here. I will give my test repo. So here I am choosing the private repository and let us create the repository. So now we have created a new repository called my test repo. So here we can see that we can access the code using HTTPS, SSH and GitHub CLI. So here we will see how we can access via SSH protocol. So let us click on SSH here. To access via SSH, we have to use the private key public key concept. That means we have to generate the private key and public key in the client machine, and we have to copy the public key content to the GitHub server. So let us do that. I have already installed Git bash in my machine. So now this is the client machine. So I will generate the private key public key in this machine and will copy the public key content to the GitHub server. So let me execute SSH keygen here. So for generating the keys, and I will use the bit size as 4096. And I'll use the default path for the private key. So I am overwriting the existing key. So here I am giving the empty passphrase. So now the private key and public key are generated. So let me open the content of the public key. So this is the public key. So let me open the content of this key. So now this content needs to be copied to the GitHub server. So let me copy this content. So now in the GitHub server, so we have to go to the user settings. So we have to click on this and we have to open the settings link here. So here we have to click on SSH and GPG keys. So now we have to add the new SSH key here. So I will add my SSH key. So now let us copy the public key content here. So we have copied the public key here. So let me add the SSH key. So now the key is added successfully. So now let us go back to the repositories. So now let us click on the my test repository again. So now let us access the SSH again. So let us click on code here. Here we can see that the username is Git. So that means whatever public key we have added to the server, it is corresponding to the username Git. So that means in the client, we have to access the repository URL using the username Git. So let us copy this URL. So let us go back to the client machine. So here I will try to clone the repository which we have copied just now. So for that I will use the git clone command. So now it is cloning into my test repository, and for the first time we access that repository, it will provide us the public key of the server. So let us accept this. So now we are able to successfully clone the repository my test repo. So here we can go to that repository. So now we are in the my test repository. We can see the file content here. So we have the readme file. So let me add a new file called test.txt here. So the test file is created. So now let me add this file to the local repository. So for that I will add this file. So the file is added. So let us commit this as well. The new file is committed. So now the file is added to the local repository. So let us push this branch to the GitHub server. So for that let us verify the branch name here. So the branch name is main. So now let us push this branch to the GitHub server. So for that we can use git push command origin, and we have to specify the branch name. So now we are able to successfully push the content of this local repository to the remote repository in the GitHub server. So let us verify the same in the GitHub server. So let me refresh this one. Here we can see that a new test file is added to the main branch of my test repository in the GitHub server. So in this way, we can access the GitHub remote repositories from the Git client using SSH protocol. I hope this video will help you. If you like the content, please like, share and subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching.